Ever since I was a little kid, the unexplained has fascinated me. Aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot, you name it, I was probably into it. While I've always been a bit of a skeptic, these small-knit communities of like-minded people have been somewhere where I have felt accepted. But what was my original gateway into the world of the paranormal? West Virginia's own monster, the Mothman.
That's why I'm here in Point Pleasant, West Virginia for the 14th Annual Mothman Fest, a festival dedicated to the regional monster of the Mothman. So grab your favorite blanket, make sure the coffee's extra strong, because it's about to get spooky.
There's something going on, there's something. I mean, some people are just probably here for the spectacle of the whole thing, but the more I talk to people, a lot of people, because I look kind of official with my outfit, they kind of, I'm like a psychotherapist almost, and they'll be like, I saw something, and there's I haven't told anybody about this, whatever, and the more I talk to people, I'm like, I feel like there's something, who knows what it is, but there's something going on, and I think these kind of things bring out people because it touches something within them, you know what I mean?
I think a lot of people come to the Mothman Festival because it's an open book. It's never solved. Nobody ever had an exact explanation of what these people were seeing. And everybody has their own theory. It's like a favorite football team, they have their own theory. Well, this is what I think they did see, this is what I don't think they saw, So it's an individual type feel to it, It's not just one flat story. There's so many UFOs, Mothman, Men in Black, Silver Bridge, all the elements kind of go together to make that one big Mothman story.
While Point Pleasant is known for the Mothman, UFOs, strange characters, and even the G-Men, there's more to Point Pleasant's history than meets the eye.
Southeastern Ohio and the surrounding areas of West Virginia are considered to be some of the most haunted in America. In the late 1700s, Chief Cornstalk of the Shawnee tribe became a prominent figure for peace between the Indians and the white settlers of the area after the Battle of Point Pleasant. During a diplomatic meeting in November of 1777, Chief Cornstalk was brutally murdered by American militiamen. Regional lore says that Chief Cornstalk whispered a curse with his dying breath, bringing the Mothman to fruition during the events that rattled Point Pleasant in the 1960s. Between November of 1966 and December of 1967, there were nearly 100 recorded sightings of the Mothman throughout Point Pleasant. Residents claim to have seen a humanoid, bird-like creature with glowing red eyes. Some cryptozoologists believe that the Mothman is an alien due to the large amount of UFO sightings in the town of Point Pleasant, while others think that the Mothman was a thunderbird, a powerful, wrathful, and legendary creature of North American Indian lore.
The Mothman came from the curse of Chief Cornstalk. That's how it all came about. So, if you got time, get into your history and read it, and you'll understand why, he's here.
A lot of people view the Mothman as an extraterrestrial or interdimensional being, a phantom, demon, whatever you want to call it. One of the theories that goes way back on the Mothman, a lot of people don't realize that Mothman was originally referred to as the bird. And when the initial reports came in 1960, at the end of 1966, many people described this giant flying thing and they just called it the bird. And the name Mothman is actually a media invention. A newspaper writer decided to kind of give it a cool nickname to sell more newspapers, and so that's where the name Mothman was born. And of course it conjures some really cool imagery in terms of a Mothman type creature. I don't know if that's an accurate description of what the Mothman is, but there's a theory that the Mothman may be a physical flesh and blood, basically a giant bird, and that maybe all of the other stuff that that we associate with the Mothman as far as UFOs and interdimensional aspects, that maybe that's just kind of been embellished and kind of created through the years. I really don't have a solid theory as far as what it could be or where it's from, but it doesn't appear or behave like a flesh and blood creature.
I'm here at the site of the collapsed Silver Bridge. The Silver Bridge collapsed on December 15th, 1967, taking 46 lives. Shortly after the collapse of this bridge, sightings of the Mothman ceased. The Mothman in many cultures is considered a prophet of doom, and many in the town of Point Pleasant believe that the Mothman was responsible for the collapse of the bridge. Now, I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I do believe it's interesting nonetheless, and I'll leave the decision in your hands.
Well, I'm the daughter of Bob Roach. My name's Kelly, Kelly Miller. My dad, he passed away 3 weeks ago. Very excited to be here, but very sad at the same time because it's my first Mothman festival without my dad. But my dad was inspired to make this statue. Actually, he made it and presented it in 2003. Point Pleasant came to my dad because they knew he did all kinds of artwork. They asked him to make a Mothman statue. So what my dad did is he went around and he interviewed the people that proclaimed that they seen it. And he took bits and pieces off of what they said. There were some people who wouldn't speak about it because they said it was like taboo. If they talked about it, it would come back. But the ones that would, he took what they said and he put it all together, and that's how he came with the 11-foot statue that's there. That I'm awfully proud of it. My whole family is. We enjoy the Mothman Festival. He made the other statues. If you go through the flood wall, there's 5 more at the frontier. Chief Cornstalk and Daniel Boone, and there's, like I said, 5 of them. I'm very proud of what my dad's done. I miss him terribly. It's very hard to be here this year without him. It's only been 3 weeks, and it feels like it was 5 minutes ago.
So when I said make sure the coffee's extra strong, that wasn't an exaggeration. I'm here at the coffee grinder in downtown Point Pleasant where they make a Mothman brew every year for the festival. So I'm going to channel my inner Anthony Bourdain and give it a little critique. So let's check it out. Yes, some nutmeg, some vanilla, nice and smooth, just like I like it. But we're not over yet, so stay tuned. We have some more exploring to do. We're here with Matthew Pulowski, the director of Eyes of the Mothman, and I have some interesting questions for you about the documentary filmmaking process.
Sure.
So when you're dealing with subject matter like the Mothman, where it's a bit esoteric and there's a lot of skeptics,
Yes.
so when you're like approaching that type of material, like what was your mindset? Did you have an initial one?
Yeah. So it's kind of a long answer, but I'll try to keep it short. I think the important thing is, when you used to look at journalism used to mean reporting on something and not really having an opinion on it. It was doing thorough research and presenting evidence and letting other people formulate an opinion on a topic. And so when I tried to do this project, the Mothman, there's a lot of controversial things that touch on history, that touch on the paranormal, that touch on fact, myth. The plan was to try to present all things that were credible or viable in a even and fair way, and to let kind of the viewer make their own determination. And that's just my perspective. There's a lot of documentary filmmakers. Most things these days are done with an opinion, which I don't like. If you watch the news, like it's just, and here's what I think about that. It's never just reported on anymore and letting the viewer come to their own conclusion. So I was trying to make it a little bit old school, in terms of a style, I guess you could say.
So it's been a long day. We've been walking around, taking in the sights, visiting some of the great paranormal booths, the vendors lounge. We needed to get some grub, so we stopped at Rio Bravo here in downtown Point Pleasant, where they had a Mothman burrito, and I wanted to give it a little taste. So much like that nice little coffee that I had, I'm going to give you a little critique of what this tastes like. So bear with me while I chow down. Just keep rolling. Still chewing. Okay. Yes, the chicken, the beef, the queso cheese, they're all kind of blending together into their own paranormal experience, much like the festival here. It's great. It's great. Much like the festival here, stay tuned because I'm going to tell you all about the heartburn I'm about to have after I annihilate this burrito. So, came to Point Pleasant to blow the lid off this Mothman conspiracy. The only thing I seem to be blowing the lid off of is my belt buckle. The night's crawling in. Let's investigate. So we're here at the Iron Gate. We came in originally for the Mothman style beer that they had, which they've run out sadly. But we have the Mothman cocktail, and they won't tell us what's in it because it's mysterious, just like the Mothman. I'm here with my alcohol connoisseur, Vinny Ham. Now, Vinny, I know that you've indulged in the alcohol quite a bit. What do you think of this little concoction?
A little bit. It's quite fruity, as you said, like the Mothman. Like an adult Capri Sun, I'd say. It's kind of Sunny D, and everybody knows that the Mothman was Russian. He was always in a hurry. That's why people rarely saw him. So I'm pretty sure it's vodka. They included vodka in the mix.
Very nice. I like how I think Vinny just caught that from just giving a little sniff, like just like that. So
bottom shelf.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that, but here's to a good first day. Get a little cheerooski. We'll check you tomorrow. We're here at the McClintock Wildlife Management Area, which was home to a TNT plant back in the early 1900s. It was also one of the first places the Mothman was spotted in the 1960s. It's an interesting area with a lot of rich history regarding Mothman. Now, I don't think we're going to see the Mothman. It'd be awesome if we did. Maybe you could play some cards with us or something. Cool, so it looks like we found the Mothman's den. Let's check it out. Welcome to Casa de la Mothman. When I said I was going to get spooky, this is what I was referring to, specifically the swastika on the wall from 5/21/15. As we can see, the Mothman likes to party, and sometimes he parties a little too hard. If urban legends are cautionary tales, then maybe the Mothman is telling us of the impact we have on our own surroundings. But whether this is factual or just part of Point Pleasant's lore, this is definitely a town you'll want to visit on your next road trip. I'm Holland Rains with NorseMedia, and I'll check you next time.